Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to the Monogatari series. It is the second season, episode 18. It is the season in the past, so you know what to do. As always, go down into my descriptions, follow the links, and replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots, and enjoy the reaction. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear out my thoughts. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now that, as I already mentioned, was a pretty interesting story. And nice ideas and concepts. I mean, thinking about it, we discussed in the past that the Aberations need humans to believe in them, or they will lose their powers. They are not Aberations anymore. So, by the same idea, if you believe in something being a god, then it becomes God. So it is the power of belief. Which would mean, by the way, thus we know from Heart Under Blade now that this happens, that there will be gods in this world, real gods, which people believe in, which possibly have a lot of powers. But depending on what the people believe in is what they are able to do, possibly. So if you believe in a god to be and just exist, but not interfere directly, then this is what this god will do. So if you would believe in a god that he will give you help directly in form of I don't know what, then well, that's a problem. This god could do it, but you alone are never enough to give him the strength. So at least in my opinion, I think that's one of the problems. So you need, let's say, 1,000 people to believe in you being a god who has the ability to give directly. But now you are 1,000 people and every one of them wants to have, I don't know, a car. This is too much even then. So this god will give one person a car. What will happen? All the other will think, well, this god doesn't give directly and the god loses his power. Just guessing. Wild theory. However, as I said, it's a really, really nice idea. I like the concept. I really like the way they presented it. So I expected to see them using the normal graphics for the past, so that they would really like show us what happened there. And I kind of expected that this first minion would look like Aragi, because he listens and we see it from his perspective, so he thinks himself to be the samurai, the first minion. It would have been nice, you know, and it would have been a clever way of giving the fans an episode in medieval times. So, nice option there, but not taken. However, the way they did it with these drawings are really cool. I mean, those are really good looking drawings. I really like it. I dig it. So very well done. And it looks kind of ancient. It gives you this vibe that it is from the past. So first off, we heard that she, Heart Under Blade, went to Antarctica because she wanted to see it. And we already have the problem again. If there are no humans, then they don't perceive you. And if you're not perceived as an aberration, you start to lose your powers. You get weaker. So even for her, with all her powers, this is happening. So she jumped back and landed in Japan in this one sea and vaporized it, so that it came down as rain. That gives us already a clue how powerful she is. I mean, that's really a big one. And then she was perceived as a god. So she kind of had the option to become a goddess, to be a goddess. And she did for a year roundabout. And it would have gone on like that, possibly. So possibly she would have never been the vampire again. Possibly even changed more and more into the god beings. Because, as far as I understand it, if the people see you in a specific way, this is how you become over time. So she was on her way to becoming a real goddess for eternity, possibly. But then we have the little problem here. So we have the the shadow, the darkness appearing after around about a year, because normally dark energy gathers. We know that because she is able to use it, as she did with the shrine for the time travel. So this dark energy did not gather in form of other aberrations or stuff like that, but instead created the darkness. I guess it did create the darkness. Or the darkness was around and absorbed this energy when it came close. Just, I can only guess. The question for me here is, did she maybe really create this darkness without knowing? I mean, she changed into a god, and her negative, her dark side, the vampire side, the one that is kind of terror, was gone. So maybe it is kind of a balance thing here. Something tried to balance. She is too good now, so you need something ultimately evil or dark. So maybe that's it. Maybe the darkness was created by existence because it was needed to counter her godliness. So, question is, would it have disappeared if it would have swallowed her completely? Just. So she escaped from it and hasn't seen it since, because she didn't return to Japan, which can mean multiple things. Either the darkness wasn't needed yet. You know, she was Heart Underblade again. She was the vampire, the aberration killer. So the darkness was not needed anymore to balance. Right now, however, she is weak again. She is not the ultimate powerful being that she was in the past. So maybe that's why the darkness reappeared. On the other hand, which even spurs this on, she did good things in the last time. I mean, we've seen it happening. She helped people. Aragi in general is someone who helps people. I would consider him as a positive influence. And thus she follows his lead in many ways. She is becoming good as well. So there we are again. She becomes more towards the side of good. And darkness appears. Which would be pretty mean by life, because it means she could never really go away from being evil, from being devastating, you know? Because whenever she tries, then the darkness would appear, so she had to be evil. That's one thing. The other option is the darkness is maybe not directly related to her. Or maybe it is, don't know. But it cannot leave Japan whysoever. Maybe it's not able to go over water, which we haven't tested yet. Because we've seen that it wasn't able to follow when someone jumped away from it very fast. So the three-dimensional thing is not its thing, but it will follow you in 2 dimensions. So maybe when it reached the sea, it was like, well, crap, I cannot pass floating water like a vampire. In some theories, vampires can't. Maybe that's it. And now that she's back, since months already, it did find her finally. I mean, it is pretty fast, but possibly not endlessly fast. So it needed some time to find her again. Those are options. I'm pretty sure we will learn more about the darkness and where it comes from, how it was created. And it very likely is somehow bound to her. And thus, though I'm not sure if I discussed it last episode, but I thought about the fact that it did follow Aragi. But in the shadow of Aragi sleeping is Shinobu. So maybe it did not follow him, but instead her, because it could sense her. Talking about the Minion. So, it was more neither a hero. A samurai fighting aberrations with the very own sword he had for that. and a secondary sword which she had to revive aberrations. Which gives me a bit of the idea that maybe we will see something about this sword in the future. I mean, the darkness swallowed him, so it swallowed possibly both blades, the original ones. But it doesn't have to mean that they are destroyed. Maybe they will reappear, which would be a danger if the aberration killer appears. But interesting if the aberration reviver appears, because Dreamspan, I think it was, that would be in the wrong hands really bad if you would be able to revive aberrations that were killed. In most cases, there are reasons for it. But in the right hands, it could give some powers, you know, it could help with good quests. However, who is to judge that? How to revive an aberration? And how the heck does it do that? You know, a normal sword or the Hackspan slices it so it's dead. But how do you revive using a sword? Does it transfer energy, or how does it work? So I will make the guess that we will have an encounter with Dreamspan somewhere in the future. It doesn't really make sense that they mention it otherwise, in my opinion. So she escaped, as I said, and she took the hand of her first minion with her and revived him just from his hand, which is, whoa, okay. I mean, being able to reconstruct his body is one thing, but even his memory and everything is there. So that's, oh my, that's even, but then you can see she is able to do the same for Aragi. So, here they are pretty unbeatable this way. However, the minion did not take it well, which I can completely understand. So, you have a god that you trust who does good, and then everyone you know disappears. And in the end of this, you realize your god is not a god, but the devil. And he just tricked you, because that's what he thinks. You know, that he was tested and that he failed because he believed in her and she was fake. There we are again. Fake. We had this already. So he went nuts about it and shouted at her and everything. He even created a duplicate of his sword, which she now has, and he created it from his blood and bones, which I am not sure how he does it, but okay. Let's just say he has iron will and is able to transform it into a sword. And then he jumped into the sunlight. Well, it is a typical ending for a vampire. That's true. A lot in many movies and series, that's what they do in the end. When they have lost everything or think they have lost everything. I am not sure if she did not really talk back to him. Because I can guess that she didn't tell everything to Aragi. So I might guess she tried to convince him. However, it seems to me that she was kind of desperate in this time. She really needed a friend, another being, you know, anything, because she had encountered something that is able to kill her, possibly. Or, I guess more neither the first time in her life. She has encountered something that she doesn't understand, that she is afraid of, and possibly still is. And there's just one who trusted her very long and who kind of followed her in the past, the minion, who she talked with a lot, who was with her as like a right-hand man. And she gets him back from the dead, and it is not the good decision. So she's possibly completely shaken at this moment, so I can understand that she didn't talk back. Maybe she didn't. And in the end, he kills himself, and by doing so, I guess kind of her hope to be something good. I mean, she I can guess that she had some moments where she really liked being a god. It had positive and good things. She's admired, you know, people like her. It's a nice thing to be liked. So when even he goes away by himself, by his own choice, I think this kind of closes the chapter for her. It's like she is pushed out of heaven. She's not allowed to be a god. In the end, he's like saying to her, you are not a god, you have never been a god, you are a traitor, you are a betrayer, you are evil, it's all your fault, you. And then he kills himself. You cannot even redeem yourself or anything. So I can understand that she didn't go back to Japan for quite a while there. She doesn't show, but I think it must have been, in general, a really bad day there at this time 400 years ago. So, being that she tells that to Aragi, I mean, there are reasons for it, but I think she opens up a bit more than she ever did before, although she tries not to show that she's hurt. But I can only guess that she was hurt a lot at this moment, and I'm talking about emotionally. So, that was a really interesting episode, as I said. There was some really good music in as well, especially in the beginning, which reminded me of some other music, but I cannot put in exactly. As I said, the drawing style is incredibly good, really nice, well done, and the story idea is a good one. And now I'm waiting for Dreamspan and for the truth about the darkness, because I'm pretty sure we will learn. That's it for this time, and let's see how Aragi handles this, what he does with this, and I will see you next time. Until then, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.